Growing up, we ate potato bread all of the time. Potato bread, potato buns, like we had them for hamburger buns, we had them for dinner rolls. Potato bread was just the common thing. Lately, I have been on a kick of eating a sweet potato every day. So today, I wanted to incorporate that into some bread. So let's make some potato buns. Sweet potato buns. And they're gonna come out really good. These are super easy. This is like an incredibly easy bread recipe. I've been on this bread making journey lately and having a lot of fun with it. The tofu bread, the high protein tofu bread that I made a couple weeks ago came out really good. And these buns are gonna be really good as well. The cool thing with doing it this way is you get some dinner rolls, potato dinner rolls, or potato buns, however you want to do it. Potato bread, even you can bake it into a loaf if you liked. But with all of the benefits, antioxidants, and fibers that you get from a sweet potato. So as you can see, all I'm gonna do is just peel one sweet potato. It's really what we need for the basis of this. Now, before anybody gets mad, this is not a gluten-free recipe. We're gonna use regular flour, but we're gonna start off with the single sweet potato, peeled. I'm gonna chop it, I'm gonna cube it, toss it in some cold water with a little bit of salt. You can do a decent amount of salt. And pretty much just enough cold water to cover it. Bring it to a boil, and we're gonna boil this for about 15 minutes. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes. Now I'm gonna save this starchy water. There's not a whole lot left. A lot of it boiled down. Now I probably could have started with a little bit more water. Now at this point, all I'm gonna do is just mash these sweet potatoes. Okay, so boom. Let's set the sweet potato mash aside right now and let's get working on the rest of it. So this tablespoon of starchy water is still pretty warm, but let's add enough water to get to about a half of a cup of water. And then we're just gonna kind of microwave that just to bring it up to temperature. Okay, so we want around 100 degrees Fahrenheit for the water. So we're gonna add a whole packet of active dry yeast and around a half cup of bread flour. Just gonna whisk this all together and add just a little tiny shot of maple syrup in here, just a little bit. It's gonna help that yeast really amp up this yeast here. Let's let this grow for about 20 minutes. It's gonna leave plenty of time for the potatoes to cool down, plenty of time for this to yeast up, and plenty of time for today's sponsor. So I have talked a lot about my coffee intake on this channel. I used to drink a lot of it, like 6 to 8 cups a day. I was getting the jitters, it would keep me up at night, and that's why I switched to Mudwater, today's sponsor. Mudwater is a Healthy Habits brand best known for its popular coffee alternative. Mudwater's original blend has 4 functional mushrooms, and with only a fraction of caffeine as a cup of coffee, you get natural energy without the jitters or crash of coffee. And each ingredient was added with purpose. Cacao and chai for a hint of caffeine and that hot chocolate-like flavor. Lion's mane for focus and to combat brain fog, which I absolutely love. Cordyceps to promote natural energy, and both chaga and reishi to support a healthy immune system. Plus, it's Whole30 approved, 100% USDA certified organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, vegan, and kosher. And it's really good. I love the taste. It's kind of like cocoa and chai had a baby. So gang, Mudwater is hooking up my show with a special offer. If you go to mudwater.com/SauceStache, you get a free frother and 15% off. That frother really comes in handy. That's mudwtr.com/SauceStache for a free frother. Go to mudwater.com/SauceStache to get 15% off your new morning ritual. Mudwater, thanks for sponsoring today's video and for making such an incredible way to start my day. Just look, oh my gosh. I mean, look at that, that's giant. That like doubled. Smells perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. So I'm just gonna put this in a bowl. Now you could do this in a stand mixer. Today I am making this all by hand. Okay, perfect. So at this point we need our sweet potato and we're gonna be using about 1 cup of the sweet potato here, which is probably gonna be most of it, I'm assuming. I think this could be all of our sweet potato. I mean, we're a hair over. I know in baking, everything is supposed to be precise, but not when you're baking in SauceStache's house. So the way that I'm gonna do this recipe is we're gonna add and then mix. So now we just need a teaspoon baking powder, 2 teaspoons salt, 2 tablespoons sugar. Now I'm just using like a raw sugar here. Let's give this all a mix. Now we need about a 1/4 cup coconut oil. Now this isn't gonna incorporate too well, but we're just gonna get it in as best as we can. Now at this point, we could start adding the rest of our flour. We need about 2.5 cups, but we're gonna start mixing this in 1 cup and then 1/2 cup at a time. No longer sticky, we can move to hand, which is gonna be this next cup here. Right now, this is still a pretty sticky dough. But it's also just fun to see, how easily you could do this all by hand. We're pretty floury, this is still a sticky dough, but I'm just gonna dump the rest of the flour that's on here onto my work surface. I'm gonna grab an extra 1/2 cup flour, have that ready, and we're just gonna start kneading this until it's all incorporated. This should be a kind of sticky, soft dough, but it also needs to be a full dough ball here. You'll see. Okay, this is perfect. I warmed up my toaster oven for a minute, which is gonna be where I proof this. I'm just gonna add a little bit of oil to the bottom of this bowl here. Make sure it's nice and coated, because this is going to rise like crazy. Coat the top of my lid here. So we're gonna toss this into the toaster oven for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. It's gonna rise, it's gonna double up, it's gonna fill this entire bowl. While that's rising, we're gonna make a little topping here, which is gonna be perfect for these, just perfect. I'm gonna use cashew butter. Now we need probably, 4 tablespoons, so 1/4 cup. We're gonna add 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, and then into that, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Seems like a lot, but use a good quality cinnamon here. I've been using cinnamon like crazy lately. I love cinnamon. It's the littlest pinch of salt, and then just mix this together. Now this is delicious. Now really, I just throw it into a small little container. It will firm up in the fridge, but gosh, it is good. This is hysterical. I knew this thing. Oh wow, it just smells so yeasty. I knew this was gonna rise like crazy. It's like knocking the lid off. Oh, these rolls are going to be insane. So all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna flour my work surface here really quick. Too much flour, as always. And then we'll just knock this out. Super basic. Okay, I'm just gonna cut this. I was gonna do probably 14 rolls or so. So I'm just gonna cut this in half, and then we'll just kind of roll this into a little log. Make sure it's kind of even, 2 little logs. And then we need 7 each. So half, they'll be just smaller rolls. Why am I trying to do odd numbers? So then all we're gonna do is just roll these guys out, and I'm gonna toss them onto a parchment paper lined baking sheet, and then just throw them in my oven. We're gonna let these rise for about 15 minutes. Once they rise, I'm gonna pull them out, preheat the oven to 400 degrees, drop them in, and they only need to bake for about 15-20 minutes. We're gonna give them a check after about 15 minutes. They should be good. If not, you can brown them off just a little bit longer, but these are gonna be perfect. Boom, we gotta close. I mean, look at this sun coming in. This is new. There we go. Okay, baby.
Oh, it smells and looks delicious.
Okay, baby, cheers.
Cheers.
Sweet potato bun. I know.
So first of all, this is amazing, especially with the spread, but I want to try it without the spread.
Oh yeah, just get a piece of bun.
This just tastes like bread with a little hint of sweetness to it.
Yeah, yeah. It should just be like a dinner roll.
Yeah, it's like a dinner roll. It's like soft, fluffy.
Yeah, super
flat,
fun.
like a cloud in my mouth. It does have a little bit of a doughy, but not, but like in such a good way. It's all forms of awesomeness in my mouth.
So it could be like your regular sandwich bread. It doesn't have to be sweet. You know, you can make this for like a savory sandwich. There's barely any sweetness there, but there is a hint there.
Yeah, but really, like, I wouldn't know that this was made out of sweet potato if you wouldn't have told me. I would just be like, man, this bun is just more awesome than any other bun.
It's just golden. You know, you really wouldn't know that it was a sweet potato. Now you can make it out of the yellow, the orange sweet potatoes, white sweet potatoes, even the purple sweet potatoes would be really good and give you a really unique looking bun. These are awesome. I mean, they're pretty healthy for you. They're loaded with fiber.
I feel like all buns should have been just made this way.
I mean,
like, why didn't they originate that way, you know?
Yeah, a lot of potato buns have like milk and butter and eggs in them, and that just loads a ton of fat and doesn't really add anything to the recipe. With these, you're getting all of the same levels of fluffiness. I mean, just super, super fluffy with low fat, and all of the nutrients, everything that you want from a sweet potato in this great dinner roll. I started this video off because like growing up, that's all we ate was potato buns.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, not all, but
It's the only thing you guys ate?
yeah, that's all we had. Like, potato buns and water, Mom. Here's your ration of potato buns tonight. No. But like that, like when we would get buns, like a lot of times we would get potato buns, potato hot dog buns, potato hamburger buns, and then even like potato dinner rolls. So I just like grew up with this style of bun, like this kind of recipe, unintentionally plant-based, but this is the time of year for, you know, making stuff like this. I mean, you can make them all the time, but when you're having family over, these are great for breakfast, they're great for dinner. I really do really love them.
They're awesome.
And they're super easy. This is dinner.
Okay.
Yeah, this is our dinner tonight. And some water.
This is all we're gonna have moving forward.
Yeah.